I'm muted. You would think after a year I would finally have that under control. Yeah, so just I guess we'll get started with an easy one. Just kind of your thoughts on how you guys played over the Razorback Invitational. Obviously 8 or 11 straight wins now for you guys. What's been really working for you guys lately?
I just think that we're just so much mature, and I think that us as a group we are very businesslike, and this is something that we haven't really seen from 1 through 9 before. And it's just we're at a competitive attitude where nothing can really stand in our way. Playing in the rain, playing in some delays, those lightning delays, and just finally able to play at home and just wearing a chip on our shoulder, like this is our home field, our home advantage, and we're just kind of going for it.
What do you think has led to really like the power increase? 22 home runs. I mean, you guys are leading the SEC. Those are some ridiculous numbers.
Yeah, I just think I really think that this fall playing our Razorback Unlimited really helped our competitive piece of just always pushing each other to do better, and just the power part of it of having almost a full year of reps and practice and live at bats and everything that we've seen from Mary Half, Autumn Storms has just fed into better at bats and more of a hitter mentality.
Okay. Kyle, I'm good for right now. If someone else wants to grab it, I'll jump back in later.
Alyssa?
Hey, Danielle. Looking ahead now, being back at home again, just taking that momentum and the way that you guys were able to handle your business this past week into this week in a new set of games.
Yeah, I mean, it's just taking one game at a time, not worrying about who's in the other dugout, not worrying about who's in the other circle, just being able to focus on us and compete like we know how to, and put up those runs, put up those big hits and those clutch hits, and not getting too ahead of ourselves, not thinking about rankings or, awards or anything like that, but just really having our teammates' backs. I think that is something that we've really stressed so far. And we've all done a really great job about knowing our roles and playing for the teammates beside us.
So far this season, obviously that first game you open up with Oklahoma State. And I know that there are a lot of things you guys wanted to work on after that game. Now, where you are now, before SEC play starts, where do you feel like you've gotten better as a team?
Yeah, I just think that the Oklahoma State game, we were just had a little bit of the jitters, and we were so excited to be able to be back field. I mean, over 300 days it had been since we had competed against someone else in the dugout, and I think that so far you've really seen us tune up some at bats, not throw really any at bats away, and really clean up defense. I think that so far our defense right now is just looking really solid, and we're just getting settled in, and we're not getting ahead of ourselves. We're making routine plays. We're sticking in our shifts and just playing kind of with some poise and playing with knowing that we're Arkansas softball, we're Razorback softball. We've trained hard for this, and kind of breathing and being able to take a breath in between pitches.
Danielle, thank you.
Alex, did you have anything? Megan, do you have any questions for Danielle? All right, last call for questions for Danielle before we get Coach Diver.
Yeah, Kyle, I've got another one. Danielle, so I'm going to be on the call on the games on Friday, and I'm just wondering, can you kind of walk me through your approach during an at-bat? What are you looking for when you step in? Where do you kind of consider your power box, in your hitter stance? What are you really looking to drive?
Yeah, so each at bat, I would consider myself as a pretty aggressive hitter. I guess you can kind of tell in the walks to at bat ratio. So I'm very aggressive out of the chute. Anything that's really in the strike zone, I'm gunning for. I love an inside pitch. I haven't got much this season, but really just looking for anything that I can drive and I can hit hard. Anything that has a little bit of upspin to it, maybe I could put out of the park, but not really trying to do too much, but just hit the ball well. Just not really I guess my biggest thing this year is just not giving my bats away, not giving them up too early and staying within myself, and also being able to play the course of the game and just not get too frustrated if I'm, 0 for 3 on the day and but I still have one more at bat, just being able to stay calm and do what I can within those at bats, whether that's a move the runner over, sac fly, or get on base, really anything that can help the team.
And kind of to the PowerPoint that I touched on earlier, I mean, you guys do have a full lineup 1 through 9. I mean, how difficult does it make it on opposing pitching, knowing that they can't spot pitch around you or around Braxton because they're going to have to deal with everyone else in the lineup?
Yeah, I think that 1 through 9, this is one of the best teams I've ever played on, and just being able to not give a pitcher a breath. Like that, we have put so much pressure on opposing pitchers and opposing defense that it's extremely hard for them to really take a pitch off or feel like they can take a pitch off. So I think that is something that also really, again, like I touched on earlier, being able to play those games against each other in the fall, creating that inner competition of everyone in front of us is just building a better at bat for the next person and feeding off of that and feeding off that momentum. And it's hard. I would not want to face us in our lineup 1 through 9. It's a tough lineup, and our goal is to just make our outs loud and tough at bats. That's all we can do.
Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, Danielle, it's Megan. I'm going to jump in and ask you just a couple things. I'll also be on the call this weekend, Thursday and Friday, but I'm really curious as to how the practices over the last couple of years have evolved, because you've obviously been in 2 different facilities, 2 different places and coaching staffs. But I also know that Coach Steifel and her coaching staff really like to switch things up year to year. So what does that look like, and how has this year been different?
I just think that before first coming here, we took a lot of reps, lots and lots of reps, lots of execution drills, lots of perfect, like we'll do like a perfect throw competition where you have to be perfect. And basically before was training our mentality. And so I think that has really shaped the way that we go into games, the way that we approach practice and approach games, as our mentality has matured. And I think that comes with age as well. And since the bulk of our roster is our older kids, we've been able to kind of shift from pounding those mentality drills, but really just fine-tuning our crafts, fine-tuning hitting, fine-tuning defense, adding a little bit of poise and swag with all of that, and just being able to really have the confidence now in our abilities.
Out of all of your teammates in the lineup, because I know Ali Monzo is crazy energetic always, but who would you say is somebody who energizes your team without outsiders really knowing it, that's not as obvious?
Yeah, Ali Monzo definitely a big one. We do have Ali Light. She's a freshman, and she is, no matter what situation, she's always in the game. She is always wanting to learn more about each pitcher, because she's a pitcher and a hitter, so she want to learn more every aspect of the game, and she's just always in it, always wanting to pick up her teammates. And the coolest thing is when we go out to defense every single inning, she stands outside the dugout and gives us high fives and just gives us a little bit of a motivational talk, like, hey, you got this, hey, you'll get the next one, or whatnot. And so she just has been a light in our lives of just kind of bringing us all in and keeping our spirits up.
Awesome. Thank you, Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Danielle. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. I'll go get Coach D.